Okay, so you guys sent us in this short horror story called The Haunted House on Willow Lane. And we are going to spend some time today really digging into it and talking about why it's so scary,
Yeah.
and try to figure out what makes it so effective, even though it's relatively short.
Yeah, it's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Like, why is it so creepy?
Yeah.
So, whether you're like a hardcore horror fan or you're just interested in how stories work,
Yeah.
or maybe you just like thinking about spooky stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I think we can all kind of agree there's something about this story that really gets under your skin.
Yeah.
And so we're going to sort of like break it down, figure out what makes this particular haunted house so memorable. What
Yep.
are the elements that really make this thing tick?
Yeah. Okay, so let's just start with the beginning, like the title, The Haunted House on Willow Lane. I mean, just hearing that, what kind of images pop into your head?
Oh man, right away. I'm thinking like classic haunted house vibes.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it's that instant setup. When you hear those words old abandoned house,
Mhm.
you just know something bad is going to happen.
Totally.
And what's interesting is that Willow Lane sounds so peaceful, right? Like
Yeah.
it should be idyllic, but that contrast actually makes it creepier for me
Yeah.
because it's like this quiet, ordinary street hides this dark secret.
Yeah.
Like something sinister is lurking beneath the surface.
Yeah, totally. And then we get introduced to our main characters, Sarah, Tom, and Jake.
Yeah.
And it seems like Sarah is the brave one. Like, she's kind of the leader.
Yeah, she's definitely the one pushing to go in,
Yeah.
while Tom and Jake are a little more hesitant,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
little more cautious.
Right. Right. So how does that dynamic, like having one person who's kind of fearless and the others who are more apprehensive, how does that contribute to the sense of danger?
Hmm. I think it's a great way to build tension right from the start
Yeah.
because you have Sarah's boldness, which could lead them into trouble.
Right.
And then Tom and Jake's reluctance is like a warning sign. Like maybe they should be listening to their gut feeling.
Yeah.
And as a reader, you kind of know that something bad is probably going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, oh no, don't go in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the story goes on to describe the house itself.
Yeah.
Like it's really quiet and eerie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like this tall, dark shape with broken windows and a creaky door.
Oh, yeah. That's classic haunted house imagery right there.
Yeah. And inside it's covered in dust.
Yeah.
And there are these crooked portraits on the walls.
Yeah.
It's also like abandoned and neglected.
It's like all these details are painting a picture of a place that's been forgotten and left to rot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think about those descriptions? Like how do they contribute to the overall atmosphere?
Well, they're super important, right? Because they
Mhm.
create that sense of unease even before anything supernatural happens.
Right.
Like that eerie quiet you mentioned. It's not just the accents of sound.
Right.
It's like this unnatural stillness.
Right.
Like something's watching you.
And then you have all the visual details, the broken windows, the darkness, the crooked portraits. It's like everything is off kilter.
Yeah.
Like the house itself is somehow wrong.
Yeah. And then, of course, we have the creaky door,
Oh,
which is like a staple of horror movies.
Like a warning,
Right.
like you're stepping into a dangerous place.
Yeah, totally. So they finally get inside. And what do? They split up.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Tom goes upstairs. Jake decides to explore the basement, and Sarah stays on the main floor.
That's never a good idea.
Right. Why do you think this splitting up thing is such a common element in horror stories?
Well, I think it's because it makes the characters so much more vulnerable.
Right.
They're isolated.
Yeah.
So if something happens to one of them, the others won't know about it.
Right.
And it plays on our fear of being alone in the dark.
Totally. Yeah, you're just waiting for something bad to happen.
Exactly. And it definitely creates suspense because you're wondering what's going to happen to each of them.
Right. Right. So the stage is set, the atmosphere is creepy, and then things start to get weird. Sarah hears this like faint whisper in the kitchen,
Oh, yeah.
and she's not even sure if she really heard it.
Uh-huh.
So what do you think is the effect of that kind of like subtle, ambiguous event?
I think it's really effective because it makes you question what's real.
Right.
Is it the house that's haunted or is it just their imagination?
Right.
And that uncertainty can be really unsettling.
Yeah.
It's like planting a seed of doubt in your mind.
Yeah, totally. Meanwhile, Tom is upstairs and he finds this strange old book
Oh, boy.
filled with all these weird symbols and drawings.
I guess it's good.
Yeah, and he gets this chill down his spine, and then there's this sudden, loud bang.
Ooh, spooky.
So what do you make of that whole sequence?
Well, the book is like a classic horror trope, right?
Yeah.
It's like this forbidden knowledge
Right.
that's going to unleash something evil.
Yeah, and the chill down his spine suggests that there's something supernatural about it.
Yeah, like he's sensing something dangerous.
Yeah. Right, and then the loud bang is like a confirmation. You know,
Yeah.
like whatever he's disturbed has noticed him.
Right. It's like the house is waking up.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so then we have Jake down in the basement.
Oh, poor Jake.
Yeah, he's surrounded by all this old furniture, and he finds a locked door.
Ooh, mysterious.
And then he hears footsteps behind him.
Oh, no.
But when he turns around, there's no one there.
Classic.
Yeah. So again, we have this like ambiguity. Is it real or is it just his imagination?
Yeah, and that's what makes it so scary.
Right.
Because our minds are really good at filling in the blanks.
Right.
And we often imagine things that are way worse than reality.
Yeah, and the story says that there's something about the air that feels wrong.
Yeah, that's a great line.
Yeah.
Because it captures that feeling of unease that you can't quite explain.
Yeah, it's like a sixth sense, you know?
Exactly.
Okay, so night falls and they decide to gather in the living room,
Okay.
probably thinking there's safety in numbers.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, right?
Right, but of course, that's when things really start to ramp up.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the temperature drops, the lights start to flicker and then go out, and the house starts creaking and groaning.
I think the house is coming alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do those environmental changes contribute to the horror?
Well, I think they signal a shift, you know?
Yeah.
Like the house is becoming an active participant in this story.
Hi.
It's not just a setting anymore.
Yeah.
It's like a character.
Yeah, and a very menacing one.
Exactly.
Okay, so then we get all these like auditory scares.
Ooh.
Footsteps, whispers, voices coming from the walls.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah, and they can't see where the sounds are coming from.
Mm.
So again, it plays on that fear of the unseen.
Right.
What do you think about the specific types of sounds they use?
Well, I think they're really effective because they're all sounds that we associate with human presence.
Right.
Footsteps mean someone is walking around.
Yeah.
Whispers mean someone is talking.
Right.
And voices, well, that's just someone speaking. But in this context, those sounds are terrifying
Right.
because we know there's no one there,
Right.
at least no one living.
Yeah, and then they try to escape,
Oh, yeah.
but the front door is stuck and the back door is locked.
Oh, no, they're trapped.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare.
Yeah, so what does that add to the story?
Well, it just ratchets up the tension,
Right.
because they're trapped. They can't run away.
Right.
They're completely at the mercy of whatever's in the house with them.
Yeah, it's a total loss of control.
Exactly.
Okay, and then finally, the ghost appears.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's wearing old-fashioned clothes, and she has this sad but also angry expression.
That's a great visual.
Yeah. What do you think is the significance of her appearance?
Well, the old-fashioned clothes tell us that she's from the past,
Right.
Like she's a lingering presence.
Yeah.
And the sad expression suggests that she's suffered some kind of injustice.
Right.
But the anger means that she's not at peace.
Yeah.
Like she's looking for revenge.
Yeah, totally. And then she points to the book that Tom found earlier,
Oh, yeah.
and he opens it again. And this time the pages are glowing, and they reveal the story of a woman who was betrayed by her family.
Uh-huh. So that's her story.
Yeah, and her spirit is trapped in the house.
That makes sense.
Yeah, why do you think it's so effective to give a backstory to the ghost?
Well, I think it makes her more sympathetic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we understand why she's angry,
Yeah.
and it gives the haunting a purpose.
Right.
It's not just random scary events.
Yeah.
It's a story of betrayal and revenge.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so now the friends know what's going on, and they find a diary in the attic that tells them how to release the ghost.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they need a locket, which belonged to the family, and
Yeah.
they have to recite certain words from the diary.
Oh, so it's like a ritual.
Yeah.
Why do you think rituals are so common in ghost stories?
I think it's because they give the characters a sense of agency, like they
Totally.
can do something to fight back against the supernatural.
Yeah. And it also adds a bit of mystery and intrigue.
Yeah.
Like there's a specific way to appease the spirits.
Right, so they perform the ritual, and the house starts to shake violently.
Oh, wow.
And the ghost appears again, but this time she's not angry anymore.
Oh,
Yeah, she smiles and then fades away.
that's beautiful.
Yeah. So what do you think that transformation represents?
Well, I think it means that she's finally at peace.
Right.
Like, she's been released from her torment,
Yeah.
and the house is free from the haunting.
Yeah, and then the lights come back on and the front door unlocks.
So it's over.
Yeah.
They're safe.
Yeah, what do you think about that return to normalcy?
Well, it's a relief.
Right.
After all that tension and fear,
Yeah.
it's like a weight has been lifted.
Yeah, totally. And the story ends with the friends leaving the house and vowing never to return.
Good call.
Yeah, and it says that they're forever changed by the experience.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. Why do you think that idea of being forever changed is so important in horror?
Well, I think it suggests that some experiences are so traumatic that they leave a permanent mark on you.
Right.
Like you can't just forget about them and go back to normal.
Yeah. And it also implies that the characters have learned something from the experience, like
Yeah.
they've gained a new understanding of the world and their place in it.
Yeah, totally.
And the story describes the house as quieter now and no longer haunted.
Yeah.
So there's a sense of closure.
Yeah. It's like the story has come full circle.
Yeah.
The haunting is over, the ghost is at peace, and the house is quiet.
Right. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the haunted house on Willow Lane, what are some of the key takeaways that we can apply to other horror stories?
I think one of the most important things is the use of atmosphere.
Right.
Like the way the story builds suspense through sensory details and the slow escalation of events.
Yeah, and the ambiguity.
Yeah, the not knowing what's real and what's imagined,
Right.
that's really effective.
And the backstory.
Yeah, giving the ghost a motive makes the haunting more meaningful and scarier.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so for our listeners out there, what moments in this story did you find the most unsettling?
Yeah, what really got under your skin?
And why do you think we're so fascinated by haunted houses?
What is it about those stories that just keeps us coming back for more?
And what are some other horror tropes that you find particularly effective?
Yeah, like what are the elements that really make a horror story work for you?
We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, definitely let us know.